Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to our daily video posts, where we are attempting to really look and see how can we bring our practice very practically, not theoretically, to the COVID-19 crisis. We've been starting to work our way through the Noble Eightfold Path, working with the three different sections of the path, the Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, or ethical conduct. So training of the heart and mind for Samadhi, and then the Panya is the wisdom section. We began with a few days looking at the ethical conduct section, and yesterday we began with the training of the heart and mind section. I want to continue with the Samadhi section today and actually break it down into its three components of wise effort, wise mindfulness, and wise concentration. These are the three path factors that make up this section of the Eightfold Path. And we'll begin with wise effort. And this is an often kind of elusive place to get to know. Students often asking, what is the kind of right amount of effort to make? And of course, as most things in the Dharma, it's going to depend on the person, it's going to depend on the situation, and it's certainly going to change and flux over time. There is one teaching that the Buddha gave that is very helpful in trying to find our way in this arena of wise effort. And it's a sutta named Crossing the Flood, where a deva actually came down from the deva realms and asked the Buddha basically, how did you do it? How did you get enlightened? And the flood in Buddhism stands for the flood of technically the asavas, basically the defilements that come in and flood the mind, causing it to be diluted and continuing to dwell in ignorance. But basically, they said, how did you do it? How did you get enlightened? And then the Buddha gave the answer, I crossed the flood by not pushing forward and by not standing still. And so that's a little cryptic. So the deva said, well, yeah, but what does that mean? Say more. And the Buddha said, well, when I pushed forward, I was whirled about. And when I stood still, I sank. And so by not pushing forward and by not standing still, I crossed the flood. And then the deva was satisfied with that, said thank you, and went off to the deva realms. So it's interesting, that of course the Buddha gives us our answer, not directly, but maybe what not to do. So not pushing forward. What does that mean? Well, what that means is, or what that translates to is, when we make it kind of like a self-help project, when there's a really strong sense of self that wants to get better, it wants to gain something, wants to get something, wants to improve, etc. And when we're kind of on that track, and it's like, I want to get something out of this, right? I'm putting all this time into meditation. What am I getting something? What am I getting out of it? Right there, that question is embedded in pushing forward. We want to see results. We want to become a better person, etc. That whole realm is pushing forward, and it causes us to try too hard. It causes us to make effort in a way that kind of demands results, or at least is result-oriented. And then standing still. Well, that's a little easier to kind of translate. Of course, that means not doing anything, not really having any intention to be mindful, just kind of hanging out and letting the mind do whatever it does based on the habit patterns that have been accrued so far in this lifetime, if not, many others. And when we do that, we just sink. Sink into, what do we sink into? We sink into greed, hatred, and delusion, right? And we're just carried on by our habit pattern, basically swept away by the flood. And so, the Buddha doesn't say, okay, here's the exact thing you must do. More, he says, don't do this, don't do that. And somewhere in the middle, find your way, in which we all must find our way. I like to say to my students, in the end, you have to become your own best meditation teacher. And so let's do some formal practice now, building on the tranquility or shamatha meditation we started yesterday. And we'll just bring in this sense of what is the wise effort right now? What's leaning forward or pushing forward, and what's standing still? And let's stay away from that. Settling into whatever position you're going to meditate in, whatever posture. Letting the eyes gently come to rest, closing if you meditate with your eyes closed. And I'll be giving instructions for the body and breath, and just remembering the caveat that I talked about yesterday. If the body or breath feels not safe, feels tight, agitated, move to a different object, move to hearing, and you can open your eyes and move to seeing. Starting by just acknowledging the posture that you're in, not in a mental way or intellectual way, but a physical way, acknowledging it by feeling it. So feeling the body standing or lying down or sitting. The body in this posture feels like this. Just whatever we feel, wherever we feel it. We're not looking for anything special, just starting to intentionally connect somatically to the body. Meaning we feel it. One of the major mind states, also in body states, we want to cultivate when we are practicing to cultivate samadhi is calm. And so bringing a gentle intention now for the body to soften, relax, staying still. Very important for the body to be still when we want to induce calm. But we don't hold still, we relax into stillness. As the body relaxes further and further, it becomes still. The way when the wind slows down and slackens more and more and more, a body of water, the surface of it becomes stiller and stiller. Connecting with this relationship between relaxed body and still body. And connecting with the relationship between relaxing the body and feeling the body. The more the body relaxes, becomes still, the more the sensations of the body become available to us. subtler sensations, then we might notice if the body was moving or not relaxed. The tingling, vibrating, buzzing, sparkling, shimmering sensations that we feel inside the body, not just surface sensations. Almost as if we're feeling the aliveness of this sentient life form. And as the body relaxes, calm arises. Calm body sitting. Noticing these subtle sensations we feel, vibration, tingling, etc., that they are neutral to even slightly pleasant. Letting the attention rest with these sensations. Letting the attention enjoy being with these sensations. Calm body sitting. Now, without really changing your attention, just simply keeping it connected to whatever you're feeling in the body, start to notice that the body is breathing. And maybe have the particular sensations that are associated with the body breathing mix in and join these other sensations in the body that you were noticing just a moment ago. Calm body sitting, calm body breathing. Letting the rhythmic process of the in and out breathing further relax the body. Letting it deepen calm. This is the object, this calm, slightly pleasant sensations of calm body sitting, calm body breathing. This is the meditation object that we allow the attention to gather around. Remember, the word samadhi means to gather or bring together. It's the connection between the attention and these sensations of body and breath that allow the calm to deepen and the samadhi to begin to grow, even in just a very nascent form. Just those few minutes of sitting quietly was very enjoyable. Hope it was for you as well. And when you do this on your own, you may want to extend this time a bit. Maybe follow these instructions I gave and then really sit quietly with them, using them for, as long as is comfortable for you. 15, 20, 30 minutes or more would be great. With the cultivation of samadhi, basically the longer we can sit, the better. The longer we're quiet and give the body and mind time to rest and settle, the better. But not making it into a project, today I have to sit longer than yesterday. That's pushing forward, yeah. So that's the formal practice. How do we apply this crossing the flood in our daily life? Well, it's the same thing. We want to stay away from the two extremes of pushing forward and of not pushing forward and not standing still. And really how we can do that is with intention, where we clearly bring an intention in our heart and mind. Maybe you do this at the beginning of the day, maybe you do it at different times during the day, where you bring this intention to be present and mindful into the forefront of your mind. Yes, let me be mindful today. Let me be mindful with my body. Let me be mindful in my interactions with others, and just bringing that intention in. That's clearly not standing still. That's, we're doing something. And then we pretty much let it go and let that intention come to fruition however it may. However mindfulness arises during the day, then we let that happen. And again, we can bring this intention, we can call it forward a few times during the day to kind of keep it fresh and keep it alive. But, we're not keeping score. We're not trying to do better today than we did yesterday. That whole mindset, that's pushing forward. Really working with intention is where it's at, in my opinion, in terms of kind of staying in the middle. What is the wise effort? How do we stay between these extremes? And tomorrow I'll talk a little bit more about a few actually specific things that we can sprinkle through the day that will help this intention come to fruition, but without making it a big project. Okay, that's it for our video for today. I hope this information, these suggestions will be helpful in your practice. And as always, encouraging only kindness during this time. And always, it's not just during this time, but a situation like this really makes it clear, this is the only thing that actually makes sense. Okay, be well.